So I'm going to make it very clear to you so you do not misunderstand what sales actually is. It is a numbers game. The number of phone calls you make, or the number of contacts you have, which are the number of leads that you will have, which contacts equals contracts. It's just a long way to explain something very short. We're going to give you a cold call script. It's going to go a little bit like this. Hi, how are you doing? This is my name. This is where I'm calling from. And I was looking for a chance to introduce myself and company. You got a minute? And what's going to happen there is, well, you got to learn that script so you can start to use your tonality. So whenever I'm calling a person, I've literally done it so many times that I'm like, "Hey, my name's Josh. I'm calling from the homeostasis diet. And I was wonder if I can have an opportunity to introduce myself and company to you. Got a minute?" So after you have that script hammered into your brain, I'm telling you, I'm repeating the script in my downtime, walking by myself, in my car while driving, in the shower while washing my body. You need to rehearse all of this because it needs to be consistent in your brain. You shouldn't be thinking about the script. You should just know, "Hi, how you doing? This is my name. This is where I'm from, and I was looking for a chance to introduce myself and company. Got a minute?" So, what I need you to understand, and what I'd like to explain to you, is just a personal story, so you can have a better understanding of why you need to keep your pipeline full. And if you don't keep your pipeline full, you're going to be subject to a lot of stuff that you do not want to deal with, and no human should ever have to deal with. I can tell you when you first start out, there's a high likelihood that you may make some bad deals along the way that you didn't charge enough money on, or you genuinely were not informed enough about certain things like this. So I want to make you extremely informed by giving you an example of a client that we're not going to work with because they don't check the vibe test. And it's really interesting after you do it for a very long time that you'll recognize that at first it is you 100% trying to sell somebody your services. You're like, "I have never done this before. This is what I want to do." You're going to be in a "I need to feed myself" mode. But after you get out of that, "I need to feed myself." Okay, so I'm fed. I need to live inside. Okay, I have a roof over my head. I want to go do something leisure. All right, I got money for that. Once the money starts coming in, it becomes sanity. It becomes you not wanting to experience stress because stress kills. It literally releases proteins in your body that kill you. So don't do it. Okay? So when it comes to sales, dealing with clients, here's a story that should wake you up to the point when we tell you to make 100 calls a day. Keep your contacts open, keep your pipeline full. And I'm just going to read kind of what they wrote back. So this was a referral. So a person to a person. I looked at somebody, what they were doing, and I was like, okay, none of this stuff is set up properly. It is completely just jacked to shit. And you will come across a lot of brands that are absolutely jacked to shit. They've been working off of word of mouth. They've been in a small community. They are sometimes the most egotistical business owner you're ever going to come across in your entire life. Like, it is absurd. At first, you might got to bite the bullet. But once you don't have to bite the bullets anymore, you're going to do the exact opposite and not work with the person. You're not going to take clients on because you need money anymore. You're going to work with people because, well, your goals align with my goals, so it seems like we're a good fit for each other. They say in business that you're going to want to like all of your clients, but you're not always going to like all of your clients. Bullshit. If you keep your pipeline full, then you're going to like all of your clients. So, for instance, with my one on one coaching, it's not really me trying to sell you, it's you trying to sell me. Like, someone's like, "Is there a guarantee for this?" No, I can't guarantee that you're going to take my advice in any way, shape, or form. So, let me read you a little bit of what was written so you can have a clear frame of reference. So, this was a referral. We talked to them on a phone call. You can only explain your processes so much. Like, before you start to break down to a business owner talking about H1 to H6 tags or structures for websites or backlinks that, really don't connect any dots in a person's brain, if you get somebody who's adamant on like, "I need this, I need this, I need this." Well, I have all these other agencies and I've heard all this stuff before and blah 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 blah, right? If you start getting into that area where people, like, you can see that they're not doing anything. You can see that they're not running ads. Their website's crap. They have never done anything on social media. And they're sitting there trying to play Grand Inquisitor. I would tell you to run, but sometimes it might just be their barrier, the way that they do things. Maybe don't run. But in this case, everything checked out until we had our first phone call. And then we kind of learned, okay, this guy has said that he has talked to everybody before, all of this other stuff. He's shit talking his competition, saying, "Oh, that guy's a nobody. He doesn't do anything." So that's red flag number one. Like, this business owner doesn't even have a presence online, has zero following, has no website, no existing business at all, and he's shit talking other people's companies that have websites, that have existing businesses, that have more Google reviews. So like, red flag number one, they're a little bit weird. And then, I'm obviously on the phone call with people that I partner with, so we're both picking up on like when somebody else is talking, I'm listening to this dude reply back. Somebody else is listening to this dude reply back. So there's like usually 2 to 3 people on a phone call talking to one business owner. And all three of us are paying attention. Like, how's this guy replying? What's he saying? Like, yeah, I'm going to call bullshit on that. So, like, we're really just trying to find, like, who is the ideal client. So, anyways, first conversation didn't go that great. We told him, hey, like, look, he clearly needed more information, was just like, oh, I've heard it all before. And I was like, all right, great. This is one of those examples. And, this is why you want to have multiple people when it comes to like making deals. Like, you do it by yourself, you might not have picked up on something. I can tell you for 100% fact that the pickup on the conversation was 100% right based on the email that we sent, based on the follow up that we got. The entire, yeah, this is going to be one of those type of people. You'll realize that there are specific types of people in business. So this type of person was the person that's the nightmare client. I just want to make sure that you're aware of what a nightmare client's like, and you run away from them as fast as possible. So the person was asking a bunch of questions that you really can't answer, and even if you do answer, it means nothing. Like, I can sit here all day and tell you how to do the things that we do to only so much of a point of like, yeah, this system connects to this system, and this API integration does this, and this does that. I'm not sitting here and explaining exactly what I do with my job. We do this, and if this is what you want, this is what we're going to do, and we are the people that do it. And if there's people out there that are like, yeah, well, we need some reviews. Well, that was this person. So we sent him some reviews. So we sent reviews over to a business owner, right? We sent reviews of somebody who had substantial amounts of debt. And now every single month they make more than the amount of debt that they had combined times like three. So taking somebody from completely in debt to completely out of debt to making more money every single month over month, than the entire debt that they had combined. That to me is a great review. Another review from somebody who is booking calls like crazy. I'm talking 11 to 30 calls in a week from something that we provide. And then another person got so busy and their ads were exploding up so much that they had to turn off their phones and they actually had to close their business for a day. So we sent over those 3 reviews. And then I sent over another one with somebody that got like 6 clients in their first week of doing our service. And then we had to link all these to YouTube because we don't normally send reviews. So we uploaded them to YouTube, we sent them over, and then yeah, I wrote up a little bit of a description. And then here's maybe what you might not do, but in our case, if you're telling us that you've got all these other marketing agencies that you're looking at, like, awesome, great. If you're looking at all these other marketing agencies, please go work with them. So maybe I wouldn't say at first to do that, but in this case, we got a little bit of a bad vibe. We sent over our reviews and we suggested, hey, if you're looking at all of these other competing agencies, we're not in the market of competing or changing and making our prices competitive. This is how much we charge starting. And if you're interested, we'd love to start with you. So maybe that rubbed a person the wrong way because in this case, somebody was bashing another person's business. That's ego check number one. Number two, they had no existing information about their business at all. So that's ego check number two. Like, you don't even have anything going on. You're making fun of these people that have more than you. So all in all, the vibe check wasn't there. So, hey, at the end of the day, I'm still going to send over the stuff. Maybe they just really didn't know. They reply back to the reviews and they said that they were unimpressed with the reviews. So he was extremely disappointed with the reviews and said we have no respect for him as a business owner. So based on the fact that we told him, hey, like, if you're looking at other contracts, go work with them first. Like, I am not in the position in my life where I need this person's money, and you will get there. And this is not an ego move. This is purely for your own sanity. Like, get to a place where you have plenty of financial stability so you don't have to make decisions that stress you out. That person kind of stressed me out, kind of stressed the other partner to be partner with me on that out. We didn't want to do it. So we probably and 100% won't based on the last reply that I'm going to read to you. But the first one was kind of like, all right, you need some things. It looks like you're just looking for an email with some stuff. Shared reviews, those reviews aren't good enough. Yeah, okay, well, that's more than we do for most people. Like, last person I closed on a $2,000 a month website. We looked at their old website contract. They were getting screwed. We pulled a grid. We looked at their grid. Their grid was shit. And then they said, yeah, we want to get started ASAP. They weren't asking questions, how we optimize this, how we do that. That is a perfect client. That is your unicorn client that you want. The one that's obviously like, you need to know that you're doing good. So it's not, oh, I sold somebody, they're not going to ask questions. Like, it's, I sold somebody that trusts me, that understands that I do what I do and they do what they do. And the fact that you get these people that try to like oversee you and they're like, well, I've heard of all of this and I've talked to all of these people. Well, sounds great. And then nicely step down and say, see you later, dodge that bullet. Because even sending that email, even telling them, hey, if you're looking at other agencies, like we would suggest that you go work with them first. You know, we're not in the area of competing or competitive prices. So we're not changing our price, and I'm not trying any harder than I have to work with you. Like, no thanks. Plenty of people come to me. So that didn't rub that person correctly. I guess like somebody deleted an email or something. Anyways, moving on to the next point here. After that reply, I guess they read through it, and then now here's the type. This is why it's like absolute red flag. So this is where it says, "I'd like to know their plan slash ideas for the website, how and what we gather slash create for content across what platforms, and what CTS would be responsible for, etc." I don't even know what he's talking about. CTS, like what would CT? I guess what would his company be responsible for, etc. Um, well, right here, so we're not giving you our plans or our ideas for the website. We're building a fucking website that is going to make your phone ring. That's like the first thing you got to recognize. It's like, I'm going to do my job. I'm not going to give you some mapped out plan on how I plan on doing my job that I've been doing for a very long time. So that's where, like, first thing you realize that's what they want. Hell no, I'm out. Like, there are people who are so adamant and so untrustworthy out there in the world that they are scared to spend like $5,000, and you're like, you coach? Oh, here you go. Here's $5,000. Not even questioning it. But then the people that are like in the scarcity area, here's where it doesn't make sense. So they want an outline platforms, so I could alleviate not just money given an associate's expenditures, time, and resources on our end. Like, you don't have to do anything. You could literally sit back, take a nap, and wait for your phone to ring. And that's where we're not going to build this complex presentation. And at that end of that first meeting, it was given, oh, I bet this dude wants us to like make some big presentation, bend over backwards, and go ahead and do all this crazy stuff just so he can say no to get a flex on the ego. Man, that's real. That's a reality 100% of the time. Like, that is, if you think that's happening, it's probably happening. Because you don't just magically get this vibe like, this guy seems like really not cool. Like, something's wrong here. Like, you're picking up on that. Yeah, that's energetics. Get used to it and get very aware of it. So right here, we are not okay. So here's the beauty. Okay, we are not a startup company. Okay, we are not a startup company looking to get rolling. You don't have a website. You don't fucking exist. You're a startup company. I don't care how much money that you think you have. If you have $50 million in the bank account because you've been doing work and you don't have a website, you don't have a social media following, you don't have presence, you don't have anything, you're a startup company in the eyes of anybody who is on the internet. So I don't care how much money a person has been hoarding offline, doing whatever they've been doing, talking to people. Yeah, I do this. Great. That's awesome. You're a startup company if you don't have a website, a Google, a Facebook, an Instagram, any sort of platforms that actually find customers for you. You're a startup. So whenever somebody replies back to that, like, oh, you're not a startup, okay, great. Like, that right there and the metacognitive of this, first, he wants us to build this elaborate plan on exactly how we're going to help him and then give it to him. No. Then he doesn't think he's a startup. You don't even have a website, and you're shitting on your competitors who have websites. Real confused there. We're $1 million company looking for part. If you're $1 million company and you have somebody coming to you for $2,000, you're $1 million company, and you're this concerned about $2,000 a month. I will tell you that I have partners that will make decisions and they'll fucking pay $4,500 a month, get screwed for two payments in 1 month because the company was just terrible, and then lose $110,000. And then, wait, what did we learn? Well, we learned this and not to do that. So, $1 million company, this is not the type of stress and loops you would go through for this. So, they're not $1 million company looking for partners to work with in this. So, they're looking for partners to work with to move to 3 million, 5 million, 10 million. No thanks. We're not looking to partner with you. We're just looking to build a website and do our job. Like, we don't want to partner with a company. Like, no thanks. Like, that is way too long of a complex deal strategy. Way too much. You giving us shares of your company? I don't have interest in that. Sorry. This is what we do. Here's how we can help you. If you're not interested, your company's a dime a dozen. We can go work with another one. So, like, you'll have to realize in time that there is a lot of insanity out there. It's not that this person's insane, it's just pretty obvious what's actually happening. So I digress. Let's continue to move on here. So, one, not partnering with you. Two, not giving you my plan and strategy. Hell no. You want your phone ringing into rank number one? Sick. Let's talk. That's about as far as it's going. And I can tell you, like, why not? Here, I'll just give you an example of coffee this morning. Sitting down at coffee, having a conversation. We need a real estate website. Awesome, sick. This is how much it's going to cost. Awesome, great. We also have these other companies. What should we do with these? Well, I would take all four of these companies and build them into like one specific website so you don't have to pay for 5 websites. I would say maybe paying for 2 websites instead of 5 websites is going to be the best decision moving forward. So, right there, $4,000. No, what's your complex strategy? Like, give us examples. Show us how you're going to do. Nope, nope, nope. In real business, somebody understands, like, you're a professional. And in that meeting here's why you keep your pipeline full. In that meeting that I had, people sitting over here, eavesdropping on conversation. Some guy that has a company with 100 employees is like, yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about marketing and they're usually always talking BS. And you sound like you know what you're talking about. And I was like, well, I'm glad I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I'd like to show you I know what I'm talking about. And then he asked me if I have a card. I said, the only thing I got is my, what is that one? That's that dot card. I was like, this is the only one I got. So if you have your phone, he's like, hang on a sec. He's like, just take my number down. So I took his number down, shot him a text. I'm going to give him a call tomorrow. That guy's got 4 locations and 100 employees. I am not over here being like, oh, this guy wants me to build some complex strategy and do some more things and jump through some loops. Sorry, we end here. So, like, at first, you might not have those options. But down the road, you're going to have those options appear in front of you. So, talking to this person, boom, deals. Person over here, boom, deals. Person I was talking to knew the person behind me that owned the freaking place that I was sitting in, but the deals everywhere. So, remember, you tell people, hey, I do marketing. They're going to remember that. They might not care today, tomorrow, next week, next month. I need a website. Boom. Who are they going to think of? You. Ghostbusters, maybe. But that is where you keep your pipeline full and open. So we cannot turn a very important part of over to some guys that claim to be the best. Well, we shared our reviews. We told you that we're the best. And we even told you to go work with somebody else. So in this case, go work with somebody else. And usually what happens is they talk a bunch of nonsense. They rake you for cash. They build you crap. And then you're back where you started with nothing. AKA a company in a $1,300 a month contract ranking in rank 20. Absolutely terrible. Everything is just, destroy, burn the website with fire. We have to start over because it's literally not even real. It's like a piece of paper with some text on it and like some pictures. Gone. Here's a real website. So I'm looking for a professional. So here's where for us it's like I'm looking for a professional presentation to show that they are understanding of business structure and environment, including the demographics in our geographic area. I've never had to do that before. And people pay more than $2,000 for services. So, right here again, this is the nightmare. This is the part where it's like, take all of your worst possible nightmares of somebody who's like, you're an entrepreneur. No, you're not. You're my underpaid employee. And I'm going to bother you every single day of the week, all week long, and make you do things that are totally not in our contract. But then I'm going to complain and threaten you about suing you if I don't have these specific things. Just say, thank you. Have a great day. Move on. Because I'm telling you, it's absolutely a nightmare sometimes. And this is just an example, so you don't have to suffer from nightmares. Hi, how are you doing? My name's Josh. I'm calling from the Homeostasis Diet. I was wondering if I could have the opportunity to introduce myself and company to you. You got a minute? Oh, they got a minute? Well, hey, simply with your permission, and this is for the marketing side, I'd love to send you over a 3-minute video analysis of your website. Saw some stuff on your Google that can be optimized, a little bit of stuff on your website, some Facebook, some Instagram, some strategy, some cool stuff. I was just looking for a chance to introduce myself and show you that video. Is that fair? And then they're going to usually say, yeah. They're probably not even listening to the rest of that. They're like, oh my God, yeah. If they say, yeah, they got a minute to talk to you, sweet. I'm just looking for a chance. With your permission, I'd love to send you over a 3-minute video review of your business that I believe would impress and overwhelm you with new information about your entire digital presence. And if this video doesn't impress and overwhelm you, you never have to hear from me again. Does that sound great? Is this a good website? Good email on your website? And then shut up. And then watch what happens next. Hey, they're interested. Oh, cool. Look at that. Money. So these deals, yeah, no, 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 no. And then so performing, they may be all planning all some sort of things. So far, they haven't taken the time to earn our business. Like, yo, we ain't taking time to own your business. And then they had the audacity to say, like, this is the Grand Inquisitor nightmare type business interaction that I'd be careful around these people. I've invested some thought and consideration because I respect you. And he wishes that we would have done the same for him. Um, you told us that you have other options, so we simply suggested going and working with them because you're not about to get a presentation from us. Like I am not gonna give you a presentation on how this would help. Like you sit down with me, I can show you some stuff. We're not giving you some professional presentation. I'm looking for a professional presentation. Yeah, you want to pay us $50,000 a month for your multi-million dollar company? Absolutely, we'll give you a professional presentation. If you put $10,000 down, I will build you a professional presentation. But this is like where if somebody asks you to do this stuff, kindly and simply move on. Stop talking to them. Put the ball in their court, move on. Double it and give it to someone else. Double those problems and give them to someone else. You've heard that one before on social media. Double it and give it to the next person because hell no. So in this case, everything about this is just not normal. It's not normal for a business owner to bash other business owners. I couldn't even tell you the people that I compete against. I have no clue. I have no idea. Whoever else builds websites, sick. I hope you built it correctly because if you didn't, I'm gonna sit down with somebody that built it, that is the owner of it, and I'm gonna show them some shit, and they're gonna be like, "You didn't build my website correctly? Do you want the right answer or the wrong answer? Both." And then that's the smart business owner. Well, the wrong answer is to sit here and tell you, yeah, this website's great. We don't have to delete it and start over. And the right answer is your website's absolutely shit. And that's what you got to be able to tell a person. Like you're going to get to know people, you're going to understand the way that they work, and you're going to know where you can start doing things and not doing things. I literally have an event here at exactly starting in 55 minutes. Sick. All right, that's the book review stuff. So here's all I can say for you in this situation. Keep your pipeline full because you're going to have tons of people out there that are absolutely nightmares. Like one guy, I'll tell you, was like, "Yeah, can I pay you weekly?" No. You can because you asked to pay me weekly. I'm going to assume you have a problem with money, so you can pay me up front, and I'm not doing work unless you pay me up front. But when I first started, I was taking deals like that. I was like, "Yeah, you can pay me every Friday, and if I don't get a payment on Friday, I'm not doing your stuff." And then here's the nightmare from that. That guy's working with me weekly. He's getting some leads. And then I don't know what he was doing with his life, but he was texting me randomly saying that he needs a refund because he's hungry and all of his other, he doesn't have money for food. Bro, what? You got a business and you're selling and fulfilling services and you don't have money for food? Well, I'm confused. So that was a nightmare. You have a person that was paying. This person was paying $1,000 a month. Or no, they were paying $500 a month. Sorry, we charged them 1,000. So they're paying $500 a month to have somebody do like these affiliate posts for like Instagram influencers and then boost their posts on Facebook. And I noticed that their ad account was never set up. I was like, "Oh, you guys are running an ad with no ads manager. You're screwed." But I didn't tell them that my laptop actually died during the presentation. Like my charger cord was being weird. So I couldn't even show them the presentation that I built at that point in time. This is back when I was doing like copy paste audits, not just sending videos and owning the process. So copy paste, and then the presentation wasn't set up. So I had to take their laptop and show them exactly everything in front of them. And then they kind of weren't convinced. And then last thing I said was, I was like, "Do you want me to show you how much money this marketing agency has actually invested in your business?" And then I pointed at it and it said $0.00. And they're talking amongst each other. They're speaking in a different language at that point in time. They're like, "Oh my gosh, and I was like, "Yeah, great, like that's good." And then my one friend was sitting next to me and spoke their language. I looked over and I see a thumbs up in his lap, and I'm like, good, because I can't help you for $500 a month because they weren't even helping you. So this is what we're going to be able to do. This is our price points, and boom, deal done, simple. So just because somebody's paying $500 a month, or somebody's like, "Oh, well, we've been paying this much money a month," that's great. I'm glad you've been paying $1,300 a month for the person that built your website, but unfortunately, they haven't done anything useful for you. We charge two. We start there. And then you're going to have somebody say, "I need a professional presentation, an outline, guide, map, all this other stuff. We're looking for partners." Nope. We're just looking to build your website and manage it and help your phone ring more. and make you rank for all of the traffic that you work putting into your business. When you tell somebody to go check out your business is set up properly and you don't have to worry about it not being set up properly or anything. So, your introduction to sales has yet to begin. This was just me making it very clear to you that if you want to find success in the sales portion of this program, which, hello, I am the person who teaches you this. I might not be the kindest person, but I care about your well being, and my well being is important too. So when I experience things like this that have sucked really bad and made me feel horrible, I'm helping you never have to experience those ever again. So here's your takeaway from this video: 100 calls a day. Calls equal contracts. Call a person. Hi, how are you doing? My name is Josh. I'm calling from the Homeostasis Diet. I was looking for a chance to introduce myself and company to you. You got a minute. And then shut up, because you got to let them process. Oh, I got a minute. They either do or they don't. Your alterations outside of that are, hi, how are you doing? This is my name. This is where I'm calling from. Is today a bad day to talk about whatever the hell you're selling? Hi, my name is Josh. I'm calling from Potato Patch Farms, and I was wondering if today was a bad day to talk about getting some of the most amazing potatoes you will ever taste in your life in your hands. It's a good address for your business. I'd love to send you some samples. Shut your hole, because you got to talk and then shut up. Let them process and tell you what to do next. If they say, yeah, today's a bad day, well, when's a good day I can get a minute of your time, sir? And then close it. Because 99.9% of business owners get cold calls from random people who are untrained professionals, which is funny. Untrained professional. Yeah, how's that work? You'll find out when you start calling people and realize how well these scripts work. But use that and then realize, okay, now you're in a position where they're like, oh yeah, what you got going on? And this becomes the point, and I'll tell you, based on everybody that messages me, this becomes the point where you're like, oh shit, I didn't do my work. What's next? Like, people aren't saying no anymore. You're used to, you go into these cold calls thinking to get rejected, thinking, if you're me, you came from childhood trauma, you were literally told that you were dumb and stupid your whole life. That's me. So if you're like that in any way, shape, or form, and you've never made more than $3,000 or $5,000 a month in your life, there's a lot of imposter syndrome and trauma that's about to manifest into your reality where you're like, oh God, no, I can't do this. Yeah, you can. So, like, suck it up, Buttercup, because your life is about to change if you want it to change. Just magically change because you learned some information and now, oh, I know things. Great. What are you going to do with that? So, you can ask them if it's a bad day to talk about whatever. So if you're here and you're not doing the social media and you're just taking this away for sales for your own business, hi, how are you doing? My name is blank. I'm calling from blank. Is today a bad day to talk about blank? Hi, my name is Josh. I'm calling from Corn Cabbage Farms in Fresno, California. Or yeah, hi, how you doing? My name is Josh. I'm calling from Cabbage Patch Farms in Fresno, California. I was wondering if today was a bad day to talk about getting some of our cabbage samples in your hands for your sandwiches. Like, you can literally just any script into that. It's a framework, and follow the script. Reality is a script. People say that we live in the Matrix. If we live in the Matrix is telling me nightmare transaction, avoid, double it and pass it to the next person, because whoever's dealing with that, this is the client that'll come back in the future realizing that no one knows how to help them, because there's certain niches that are nightmares, and the people that work in those niches have come to terms with all of the nightmares and found a way to turn those nightmares into dreams through years and 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 years of failure. And now they're good at what they do. So you will suck at first, 100%. And if you don't suck at first, you're not trying hard enough. If you don't feel the anxiety, you're not asking for enough. You got to do things you've never done before to become a person that you've never been before. You got to ask for things you've never had before, to own things you've never had before. Like, I don't expect everybody to work all day like me. You can if you want. You're more than welcome to create leisurely out of your life. That's not me. It's not for me. So remember, 100 calls, use a script, avoid drama. You get the first sense that something you're like, still doesn't sound that great. It's probably because it's not. So just imagine the double it and pass it to the next person. Because what's going to happen here, it's gonna be someone else's problem. Because I don't want problems. Not interested. And to give you a little bit of extra feedback here, when I first started, I used to call about like 12 to 20 some people in a day, and I'd get like 2 or 3 people interested. Somebody would want like an audit, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, awesome and interested. Somebody's interested in my services. And I'd start telling everybody, and I'd be all excited. And I'm like, I'm going to work with these people, and blah, 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 blah. I look back at that now and I say, oh, delusional. So, where dopamine used to one time be produced is now perceived as delusions. So, that doesn't confuse you. I don't know what will. Because you could be literally existing in a moment right now that produces dopamine for you. And in 5 years, you look back on it and you say, oh, wow, I was delusional. To think that that is what it actually took to get to where I actually wanted to be. So when I tell you to pick up the phone and call, you must. Because if you do not, you will not have any of the things that you think you're going to have. You might get lucky. I mean, some people pick up the phone in one day and make like $2,000. That's awesome. That's great. You can do it. You just got to pick up the phone. That was website sales. Hi, how are you doing? This is my name. This is where I'm calling from. I was wondering if today was a bad day to talk about getting you a website built. We have really amazing prices. And then close your hold. And then they might need a website. They might not need a website. If they don't have a website and have a business, well, they might not have had friends to build websites. So they just haven't gotten around to going around and finding somebody to build a website because they're busy growing their business. It's all up to whether or not they want a website. How do you know they want a website? They'll tell you. So that's pretty much the last takeaway I can give you here from the introduction into the sales. There's going to be more intro videos down below introducing you to different topics. But I just wanted to make it very clear that, like, don't work for cheap and you don't deal with stress. So, like, on this average $2,000 website deal, I would see $500 minus taxes. So I'm sorry, but I'm not about to go through a presentation, all this crazy stuff for like 400 bucks. Nope. Nope. Add like a zero on the end of that. Might care. Add two zeros on the end of that. Probably care. So, like, don't get into situations that are bad. And you won't know they're bad until they're bad. Until you've experienced enough bad situations to know no. Like this, what I'm looking at, total nightmare. And you will experience these in times and places, but I hopefully have shown you to not accept that crap. I don't care if you're brand new. You don't get pushed around. You don't let people push you around because you give them one moment where they get to take advantage of you in any way, shape, or form. You now have given them the authority to take more advantage of you as a person. And I will tell you, if you are new to business, people will try to take advantage of you because they will realize that you do not know things. And it could be as simple as asking you for a 50% discount. Somebody asks you for a 50% discount. What do you say back to that? Yeah, I'd love to restructure our contract. You know, I got to move a few things around. I did kind of have this set up to put a full-time account manager on your account, so I can definitely meet you at 50% off, but I think we should schedule another meeting so I could take some time to restructure this deal. And then I'm going to shut up and let that marinate because 99% of the time, and I'll tell you this based off of having my own business partner. Hey, call them back and ask them for some free stuff. Ask them for like a discount. See if we can get some free services. Tell them we'll sign a longer contract if we can get some free services out of them. That's a reality. So, right there, where somebody's asking for a discount, not because they can't afford it, they're testing you. Because if you literally don't know any better, you just gave a person a 50% discount and they said, look how easy that was. All I had to do is ask the universe and the universe gave it to me. So, remember, you're the one creating the version of the universe that you want. So don't let your will be bent to another's. So I hope this video really helped you out a lot. There are people that are going to ask for free things. In some cases, you know, you might be able to get 50% off. If you can, and it's something that like doesn't require a bunch of work out of you, sure, do it. But if you specifically structured a deal in a specific way to be able to produce revenue and also be able to pay somebody else to fulfill services, unfortunately, you're going to have to restructure that contact and schedule another meeting where you represent the contract and terms. So there's going to be a lot more in the videos down below. I honestly don't even remember what I put in most of the videos down below. I just know that everything that I put in the videos down below is through personal trial and error. Like, I had no clue what I was doing when I first started. I just was like, people are doing this, and over the years and years and years and years and years and years, I never gave up. And you get really good at it to the point where you're in a coffee shop talking to somebody else overhears you, they want to work with you. This person here wants to introduce you to this person over here, and then it just becomes like, this is stressful. I'm not working with this person. I'm going to talk to these guys. Like, this person heard a bunch of people say that people that do marketing are insane crazy. And I'm like, I believe you 100%. Like, I'm constantly scooping up their poop. Not really. We just see poop and then we're like, we got to get rid of that. Let's just, haha, poop deleted. And then Create a litter box. Automated litter box cleaner. Batteries. Just kidding. Batteries are inefficient. Solar panels. Monthly billing. Automate. So you're going to learn a lot of shit that you don't know now. And among the things you learn, you need to do all of them. Or risk waking up tomorrow and being in the same place you were today. So thank you so much for watching this video. And I'll see you in the next video. See you later. Bye.